Did you experience or suffer any trauma from the war?
Before, or after, or during, or when?
During?
No,
And afterwards?
no.
Oh.
You hear all the, what's the term? The terms that so many Afghanistan and Far East
PTSD?
troops, pretty common to have
Post-traumatic stress disorder?
post-traumatic, yeah. We didn't know that term. I never had any post-traumatic term. We came back home and tried to forget about the war and went to school. I did whatever we were supposed to normally did. But I'm sure there were a number of them that I didn't know of any that had post-traumatic stress syndrome.
And the people that cracked up, what would be the percentage of people you saw that did that, your comrades?
Of course, I didn't know, I didn't know the count, but I would estimate that not over 2%, I would estimate. Maybe way off, but it wasn't a high percentage. We didn't know that we were supposed to crack up.
Have you ever heard of the phrase that war is hell?
Yes, I have.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
How so? What was your experience that you would agree with that statement?
Well, the experience that leads me to say that more than anything is the fact that those soldiers that you served with and became, you're not blood brothers, but you really are become brothers. There is no closer relationship than serving with a man in combat. And when you see them killed, it's just devastating. You don't ever forget it. And there's nothing more horrible than to lose so many of your friends. I War Division Association, and I don't recall having discussed this at any length with anyone shortly after World War II. Now, here are in the reunions that we have, you get a little more information on how the people felt back then. They're able to ventilate their emotions a little more because in World War II, there's no way that a man is going to admit that he's being shell shocked or he's being fearful of going in and fighting the enemy again. Whether he was or he wasn't, it just didn't happen.
When you said earlier that being a combat veteran of 3 wars, that you're more alert to things, and more attuned from all your training, hyper vigilant. Did you bring any of that kind of habits back home? You know, I've interviewed some veterans that have told me about, you know, they look on the ground for landmines, and even to this day, 70 years later. Have you noticed any of those type of things?
No.
You get ready, a green light, a red light comes on, and you stand up and hook up. Then you got a little butterflies in your stomach. Okay, it's just not natural for a man to jump out of a plane at 1,500 feet with a little ball of silk on his back. If a guy tells me, no, I've never had butterflies, I'll tell him he's either a liar or he's an idiot, one of the two, you know. But the guy that actually threw the grenade got a Bronze Star with a V in it, you know.
You recall his name?
Yeah, I think he got killed in 50 yards from where that tank was sitting on that bridge. 88, he was dug in on this bank, and 88 direct hit on him, just blow him all to pieces. Oh, I thought I'd never get. He's the guy from.
You were telling me about how war is hell, how you agreed with that statement.
Yeah.
Did this impact you at all after the war?
Oh yeah, it did.
How so?
I'm drawing disability on nightmares and stuff like that. 50% disability. And, they asked me, yeah, didn't you take, yeah, I took training after doctors after World War II, but it didn't do no good. So I just had to live with it, I said, yeah, you still have nightmares? Yeah, I certainly do. I said, how many? I have a couple of weeks every night, a couple of weeks. And so, like I say,
So, even to this day, 70 years after D-Day, you still have
Oh, yeah.
reflections and nightmares about it. It's a very impactful event.
Well, it's all the people that I guess I lost here now. I was a squad leader. I lost all of them except one man in Normandy, and then they promoted me to buck sergeant. So now I'm got 20 men, instead of squad, and I lost a lot of those on in Holland, on Devil's Hill they called it in Holland, and what have you. So, of course, then I lost a lot in the Battle of Bulge. We're still going on in World War II, and I got the Silver Star on the 4th of July,
And did that impact you after you left the service? That type of
No,
being on edge?
the only thing that I ever experienced, and I could probably experience a little bit of that today, so 70 years later, are shoe mines, and shoe mines are made up of plastic, explosive, and they're built to blow a person's foot off, and the Germans literally scattered millions and millions of those things around. And a lot of people lost legs because of that. And so you're always cautious when you step someplace. And I don't know how to explain it, but that type of feeling would go on for years and years and years, that you're always cognizant of where you're putting your feet.
And to this day?
Huh?
To this day?
Not too much now. Not too much. Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could be. My mind would go back to that. Yeah.
And I did all right. One time I started crying up there. It was just about the end of war. It was wet and raining and cold and dark, And I told the Lord, if I ain't going to make it, take me now. I said, I got about all I can take for that.
Prior to combat, what would some of the soldiers do or talk about? Anything?
Prior to combat?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They tell stories about home, or did you do things to get your mind off?
I'll tell you, when those guys were hit bad, usually it's their mother. Yeah. Usually they all think of their mother. And yeah. You got to have a lot of faith, I tell you.